All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless me here talking real music in real time for a couple of real people out there just like you and just like me. All right, so before I get going, this is what I do. I like to promote something because really very few people, I don't want to say nobody, but I'd like to see more high profile platforms talk about new stuff. Killer Kings, Burn for Love, baby. Um, this is a real deal. 80s melodic rock. Um, One great song after another. Distinctive and somewhat eclectic lead vocals. Think of guys like Axl Rose and Steven Tyler. Not necessarily that this sounds like that, but the lead vocalist is a little like David Coverdale, but he's got his own thing. And he's not this super smooth singer, but he really does the trick. And you've got really just one great song after another. I've got a few songs from the album Stuck in My Head. That hasn't happened since Lone Rider. And so this has a shot at being my number one for 2022. There are a lot of great melodic rock albums that you won't hear about. But yeah, I try to do my part in at least leading people to where they can find the music. Speaking of music, because that's what I do, Journey is going on tour with Toto next year. Holy crap, Batman. Look, it worked in 2022. It'll work in 2023. The tour starts in February, ends in April, and I believe tickets are going on sale soon. Yeah, this will be the 50th anniversary tour of the band Journey. So it's kind of a big deal. Now, a lot of fans were hoping, I was speculating, and I get in trouble because then people say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You know, anybody can speculate, right? And sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. So let's get back to the speculation part, right? So maybe Journey might have a few old timers show up. I guess everybody's really an old timer at this stage, but maybe Greg Raleigh could show up, right? Maybe you bring back Steve Smith or Ross Valerie since they're living comfortably after the settlement they got from the band, so they could kind of have their golden parachute and not feel bad about, not touring anymore, which I don't think they feel bad about not touring. I just think they miss the touring revenue, right? And then, of course, there is Steve Perry. So Steve Perry has got to be really happy that Journey is going out on tour next year with Toto again, because Journey cleaned up this last year. A great tour, very successful, selling out concerts all over the place. And again, I'm sure next year they're going to do the same thing. The only difference now is that Steve Perry filed a lawsuit against the band because he believes the band shouldn't be getting a revenue stream from trademarks. These trademarks were put into motion back in 2020, and the original contracts or the prior contracts didn't address trademarks. So Perry's legal team has basically said, no, you can't do that. Now, how do you fund a great defense? With touring revenue, right? So Steve Perry is probably very happy because he gets about 12%, from what I understand, of ticket sales and merch sales and all kinds of stuff. And what's really kind of weird is that Journey going out on the road is only going to help Steve Perry fund his legal battle against his former band. It's the truth. There's no getting around that. So if you're a fan and you want to help both Steve Perry and the band Journey, you might want to grab some tickets. The tickets for the newly announced shows will go on sale to the general public this Thursday, October 20th at 10 a.m. local time at journeymusic.com. City Card members will have access to pre-sale tickets starting Tuesday, October 18th at 10 a.m. local time. And you can visit cityentertainment.com for more information. And yes, There are a limited number of VIP packages, which will also be available. Neil Schon says, we are all thankful and overwhelmed by the success of the Journey Freedom Tour in 2022. Now, you can cue Steve Perry doing this, going, yes, another successful tour, and I'm suing the band, and this is just great for me because my name is out there, Journey is out there touring. It's all a win-win for everybody, right? Except for fans, of course, that are getting a little tired of this legal back and forth, people taking sides. Oh, Neil is right, Steve is right, Steve can do no wrong. I'm under the impression, based on the information that I have, that if you didn't set up the trademarks and Neil and John figured out that you could do trademarks, that maybe it's kind of like an after the fact Monday morning quarterback legal battle where you're saying, they discovered a new way to make money. And that's not fair because I should be getting a portion of that as well. That's what it sounds like to me. It doesn't take away from the fact that Steve Perry is one of the greatest singers of all time. It doesn't take away any of that. It doesn't take away the fact that Steve Perry helped this band establish their brand. But here's the thing, when you walk away from something and the band says, well, wait a minute, we want to continue with this, and we basically have to take a huge hit financially in order to keep going, the band, in my opinion, has every right to keep going and to keep going without interference. Just let us do what we do. Let us make the money we're supposed to make. And, everybody should be pretty happy at this stage since, Steve Perry is already getting a huge chunk of change from everything this band does. So we'll see how it plays out, but we know now that Steve Perry has more funding for his legal challenge. And here's the thing, did Perry need the funding? Probably not, right? But lawsuits can get pretty expensive. And in the end, people, it's really not about the music anymore in some regards. I know John and Neil, they're trying to keep this thing going, and I think the fans are grateful. That's why fans will go out and purchase a whole bunch of tickets. Another generation of fans, by the way, that not only like Arnell for singing his heart out every night, but they like Arnell because he's a good singer, which is different. I can sing my heart out every night, and I could suck, right? But Arnell Pineda, he sings and he doesn't suck, okay? Now, again, there are disagreements out there about Arnell. He'll never be Steve Perry. That's not the point. No one's going to be Steve Perry, people. He puts in a great effort. People tend to really like Arnell. He's a good guy. So in any event, I root for the good guys. And speaking of good guys, Killer Kings are really good guys. And you should buy this. Frontiers Music. Go get yourself a copy. Like I said, if you don't play it, use it as a coaster. Makes for a great conversation starter. Maybe you never even take the CD out of its jewel case. But guess what? At least you have it. At least you did the right thing and you were supporting the band. Anyway, people, that's my video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications and good old Patreon for just $1 a month. Yeah, I always need your help over on Patreon. Week to week, month to month, things are always a little volatile. This is what I do. So I appreciate all those people who support what I do. And I will see you all very soon.